Oh, hello. Now hello. And dogs crying and all the good stuff. Alright, so it's Mondays with Mom. We have a dog trying to eat our current craft. Yay.
Yeah, it's not edible.
But he says it is.
But because it's made with salt, animals will like it, which is a caution, I guess. Although they'd probably soon spit it out.
Yeah, no one has any idea what we're doing.
Okay.
Because you didn't preface any of what you said.
Okay, I thought it said today we were doing salt dough ornaments for Christmas.
The salt dough ornaments are again a non-edible form of dough that you can shape and construct things with.
The two little ones up there.
So these are some examples she made yesterday.
I started on them.
So yeah.
They're much cheaper because you're just using water, salt and flour. So they're much cheaper than buying Sculpey clay or any of those types of things, and you can get similar results. As to longevity, it depends how you store them, but we actually have some in the family that are at least a decade, if not 15 years old. We have lost a few over time, but some of them are still good. So semi-permanent, let's put it that way, form of making little ornament things. You can also obviously do them for other times of year, and they're kind of cute because you can make package labels too for presents and things. You can do little things that are personalised for people. The easiest way of doing salt dough, and you'll see it a lot online, is you make the dough and then you roll it out flat and you use cookie cutters to make your shapes, and then you paint them. But we were going to go more in the sculpture, in the round. Well, not quite in the round. I guess just not flat. He's I don't know if you can see him. Can you hold him up? Sorry. It's a little snowman. He needs to be made. So you can make little things that stand on the mantle. I mean, it's just a simple, cheap way. 2 cups of flour to 1 cup of salt to 1 cup of water, but that's very variable. If you look online, the recipes will say up to 4 cups of flour. So basically you're just mixing it together until you need at least a cup of salt, because that's what preserves it, until it's workable. So I have some down here, and I'm going to give Elizabeth a lump of dough, and we are going to see if we can create some things. Once we've done the dough part, we will bake them. It's more a drying out, so it's a very low oven for a decent length of time. I know that's very vague, but the thicker your end result, the longer it has to bake. So if you're just making something small and thin, then it might be an hour. If it's something like these, I think I did these for 2.5 hours. So there is a piece of salt dough.
Thank you.
That may still need a bit more flour. I have some in here. This here that I've got in my hand, you can see the difference. This is like really squishy, so I'm going to add a little bit more flour to it because I made this yesterday or the day before. And as long as it's airtight, this will last. So if you've got kids, you don't have to make every ornament the first day. So I'm going to get myself a piece of dough, and I don't know what I want to make. I kind of rushed a little bit. The penguin I think is kind of cute. Little piggy. The snowman's not bad. I wonder what else. I tried a rabbit, but he doesn't look anything like a rabbit. Of course, it's Christmas, so we could do Santas. Santas aren't too hard. If you need more flour, it's in the corner there. Lots of it. You get it to just how I'll vacuum afterwards. But if you have it too dry, it'll crack. Also, when you stick one piece to another piece, like you're sticking an arm to the body, it's better to moisten it. So if you're old-fashioned like me, I might lick my finger and then put some moisture there, but you really don't want to do that. You should have a bowl of water or something and a paintbrush. So I'm going to make something smallish first and see what I'm doing. And Elizabeth's going to be on the main camera there, but I will show you what I'm doing every now and again. I'm going to...
I mean, you can have the main camera.
No, I don't need the main camera because I'm not terribly artistic. I tend to be... I'm perfect for doing this with children because then our stuff's about on the same par. And they get to laugh at me. And then that's kind of fun. You can use various tools to make nice effects. One year we made really pretty angels, and for their long flowing locks we used a garlic press, and we squished this stuff through a garlic press, and it made nice long ribbons of what turned into their hair, which was kind of cute. Obviously toothpicks and knives to cut and shape things into shapes. We'll see. And the other thing I'm not good at is if I can make like one arm or one leg or one wing, I can never make the second one exactly the same. But since this is meant to be kind of a family Christmassy activity, it doesn't really matter if it's not great. In my opinion. Elizabeth's a little bit more of a perfectionist than me, so I should probably make something good. I'll make something that kind of looks like what it's meant to look like. So, it's just playing about with dough. With a very high salt content. So if you are doing it with kids, they'll soon learn if they lick their fingers that it's not necessarily a good idea.
Well, I was just thinking I have so many cuts and tears in my hands
Good for
that
your
I'm
hands.
rolling salt all over them, so my hands are burning.
Yes, your hands will be very uncomfortable, but it'll be very good for them.
Yeah, you know, it's going to dry them out even more than they're already dried out.
It will sterilize everything beyond belief.
No, that's not going to stay as a ball.
Yes, and for different things you need different squishinesses too. If you want a freestanding solid ball, it's going to have to be stiffer than if you... I think my snowman squished down because he was squishy dough.
Should we not be doing this on parchment paper so it doesn't stick to the cutting board and we can move it?
Yes and no, but I brought this and I got the parchment paper down there. But if you want to do it on parchment
Like
paper...
it's going to change shape when you try and pick it up because it's
Okay.
squishy. Thanks, Zeke.
That's the dog just going underneath our feet. Okay, pretend we didn't see the... Where your pieces join, if you don't want the join to show, you can just put a bit of water on your finger. We have a bowl of water at the back. To smooth it all together so that you don't see joins. Mine's not going to necessarily look like what it is until after it's painted. So it'll be a guessing game as to what I've made. Just like the penguin didn't look very much like a penguin until he was painted.
Gunk all over my hands.
If you're making a snowman or something, since you're baking these at a very low temperature, you can use a toothpick or a little twig from outside for arms and things like that if you want. You just wouldn't use anything as an accessory that would melt.
My gosh, my hands are so caked.
Yes, they are.
Get this shit off my hands so I don't fuck up anything I'm working on.
Yeah. That's a much drier piece if you want to try that.
Thank you.
You can put food colouring in it before, or during mixing if you want, but I find that doesn't tend to give a very dark colour. A red would probably come out looking more pinky coloured, which may or may not be what you want. Useful for if you were doing something like a little mini wreath, which is where you actually I'll make one of those next, where you basically make sausages of the dough and braid it and then stick together. It's actually kind of cute, but painting it afterwards is difficult because you've got a braid. So that's probably the only time, if I was making that, or candy canes, where I'd dye the dough beforehand. So maybe a small batch.
Look, it's a wizard. Just not turning out how I wanted it to.
It's well, my rabbity thing didn't turn out. He's just going to be some weird Santa thingy animal. Undetermined animal, let's put it that way.
Can we tell what I'm making?
Looks a little Santa-ish. Oh. How many legs do insects have? 6?
Mm-hmm.
This is when I think I need a picture because I don't actually remember exactly what this looks like.
It's a ladybug.
It was going to be a ladybug.
Ladybugs are really just
Bugs.
ovals.
Yes. Which is why I said you'd be able to tell if I painted it more than if I don't paint it. Since I wasn't terribly thinking ahead, I did make a hole with a toothpick through to hang one of the ornaments over there. So the easiest thing to do is to get a twist of wire or a paper clip and clip the paper clip so that you have that hook thing, and before you bake these ornaments in the oven, shove the paper clip in the top, and then that gives you a really nice solid hanger. Well, that's a pretty jacket. And then I never know with insects whether the wings count as legs.
They're wings.
But my very pathetic, sad bug thing, which shows basically this is a good medium for children. However, if you're good at it, I've seen some really phenomenal finished products. One year we basically made our friends. We have some friends who are in the reenactment community, and obviously it's expensive to buy the outfits. So we'd see certain people in certain outfits fairly often, and so people would recognise them by their outfits. So basically we made little figures to look like their historic outfits, and painted them in the colours that those outfits were, and people did recognise most of them, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of cool as a personalised gift one year. But yeah, I guess you could do superheroes and things in the dough. You could do anything. That's a very splendid jacket. He's got such a nice round belly.
He's supposed to have a nice round
Yes, he
belly.
is. He is. Jiggly, jiggly belly. Oh, did you agree?
There's a kid screaming outside.
Okay. I guess I need to do something a little bit more serious than a bug. So, let me think. Maybe I'll make something smaller. Could make fake bones for knuckle bones or something.
Mm-hmm.
What? Maybe a little teddy bear. I didn't make a little teddy bear, did I? I made a little pig. See if I can make a little teddy bear. He's looking from one to the other of us as we look at him because he's licking the pillowcase. My poor little bear, his leg fell off. Okay, we might be changing. He may not be a bear, he may be a different thing. I could make the Michelin Man.
This was looking like for a minute.
Well, that's the thing with a lot of things, they don't look like what they're going to look like. Sometimes it does take the paint that changes them, sometimes they just need to be further along. Okay. I obviously need to learn anatomy. Good thing about this though is though, if it doesn't work, you just squish it back up again and start again.
I think Santa's looking pretty okay.
Ah, I'm very impressed.
Well, he's not going to dry like this.
It's hard to tell how or what something's going to dry into. Oh, and I didn't bring one up, but if you are making a flat ornament and you don't want to put the paper clip or wire into the end to hold it, you can take a drinking straw and just basically push it into the dough, twist it around and pull it out, and it'll make a hole through. Do that obviously before baking, and then that way you have a nice hole to thread through, maybe a ribbon or something nice. You need it. Do you want me to knead it? This has already been kneaded. How much bigger piece do you need?
His lower half.
Oh, so quite big. There's more flour down here in this corner. He was quite excited to run back.
Well, she was getting moved into the other room.
And Badger's got her nose up against the...
You can let her into the hallway. She's used to it.
I've none of us could do anything right now.
I know, only Carlos could.
But she's fine there. She can see. She's not whining right now, which she was earlier. So I mean, not whining is a huge. Or hyperventilating. She had a panic attack in the middle of the night last night. I don't know why. Usually it's thunder. There was no thunder. It was actually a beautiful, clear night, as I found out as I took her out at, I don't know, 1 o'clock this morning, sometime between 12:30 when she started the panic attack, and when I thought, well, perhaps going out might help. And I could see Orion in the night sky. I mean, it was beautiful, crisp and clear night. Not a cloud. The wind wasn't blowing, so there weren't any clanking noises. But it was probably 2 hours before she got calmed down enough for us to sleep. So as long as she's quiet right now, I'm not going to bother her. Peaceful. Peace and quiet. He's lovely.
I realized why he looked really terrifying. It's because he didn't have eyebrows.
Well, that Santa over there that I started painting looks absolutely like out of a horror movie, because I couldn't work out. I didn't think to look in a mirror and look at a human's eye. I was just like, which bit does the white and the colour and the what, the which, where?
So you painted his eyeballs black?
Yes, because I got it backwards. But
do you not know what a human face looks like?
No, not if I don't look at it. That's why I've always said if I was somewhere where the police had to ask me for a description, I might be able to remember if they were wearing a hat, but that would probably be about it. I have a very odd memory system. Just like there, I was trying to braid flat on the board and could not work which way to do it, so I've had to pick it up and braid it, because I can braid, but apparently I can't braid in the flat. I mean, now that I've got it started, I can, but I couldn't start it. Oh, isn't he lovely? Looks more like good old Father Christmas than Santa, which is nice because I like Father Christmas. The room hasn't been playing up for a while. And then it did.
Not this morning. Yesterday, it was almost no light in here.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I wasn't. My room was okay.
He looks like a Russian czar.
Father Frost, then. Oh, and light came back.
This is my Russian czar. Oh, hail the motherland.
Well, I think he looks like Father Christmas or Father Frost. Or maybe even a little bit Santa Claus, a little Germanic.
He looks like a czar.
Okay, well then he's a czar. Paint him in czar-like colours. Not to compare with Elizabeth's czar, but that was the wreath I was talking about, where you basically just get ribbons of it, which are easy to roll out, and then braid it, and then you have a wreath. Which you can obviously decorate better than what I did. They're really nice, I think, to give as little hostess gifts and things like that for Christmas, personalised. If you don't have kids, or on presents and things like that. I will mush some for you to get it drier.
Thank you. I'm obviously not good at that. Mine are all sorts of different consistencies.
Well, it's hard because had I made it stiff to start with, I like I said, I made this in advance. It starts to dry even in an airtight container. It's drying at a very, very slow rate, but it is starting to dry. Salt will absorb any. Yeah, it's. I was just drinking. I couldn't work out the noise. And as for the paint, I've always just used acrylics, or whatever I had handy pretty much. If you want to keep your ornament permanently, it's best to seal it so air cannot get into the dough. So paint the back, even if nobody's ever going to see the back, just put a coat or two of paint. And then you can seal it complete with something like Mod Podge or something. And then you've got the best chance of it lasting forever. Well, at least more permanently than not. Because air is your enemy once they are made. I guess I didn't pick white. I picked silver, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
That shows you how dark my room was.
Little feet.
Oh, I like those toes. shoes.
What is Santa if not a large elf? So he has elf shoes.
Santa is Odin. But they never show him as being one-eyed, so. And the 8 tiny reindeer were 8 goats that pulled Odin's chariot/sleigh.
I just sneeze. I need just a little bit for trim.
Okay, well, I was making this quite dry for a nail body, so I'll mix just a little bit. So it's not too sticky.
Because once he has some trim, then he is done.
Cool. How does that feel? I want it a little stiffer.
No, I just need a teeny tiny bit for trim.
Okay. Like his pants are kind of Viking baggy, just baggy pants. That dog leads a hard life.
I'm a spoiled fucking animal. He just sits there hanging out.
Yeah. His head was on the pillow a minute ago. He's got up now for a little bit, but he was just chilling, just relaxing.
Yeah, I went to go to sleep and he was sitting on my pillow with his head on my other pillow on the bed, half under the covers, and I was like, I just, what? Seriously? Like, what kind of hell beast are you?
Your hell beast.
I know. He's one of my many hell beasts.
Zeke, demon of the dark. Demon of the dark. She's already got a Kerberos. Cerberus?
Kerberos. Kerberos and Ezekiel.
Oh. And Ezekiel was the angel of...
I don't remember.
Oh. I just wondered if he was the angel of death, because that would be appropriate.
No, I don't think he's the angel of death. I think he's the angel of something else.
Oh, okay.
I looked it up the other day. Prior to naming him Ezekiel, and then stopped caring.
I just realised that the wreath I did could almost be made into a laurel wreath.
Mm-hmm. I believe he is done. Is there anything else missing from Santa?
I think he's beautiful. I think he's really beautiful. Should be very careful moving him.
That's why I wanted parchment paper.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to get you another piece of parchment paper. Did you want a little piece? Little pieces. Yeah, it's a cute little leaf.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep falling apart.
Oh. That was me. The groaning.
Okay. Is this
For you, if it's good enough. You need to feel it, whether it needs a bit more flour or not. Everybody has their stickiness level, what they like.
what am I gonna make?
Well, you've got your rabbit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a fox, and you have those. Is it possible to make a rabbit like one of your rabbits? A skull! Oh, a freaky skull. Oh, actually a skull's pretty cool. Take a long time to dry, but if it does explode, it would look like an exploded skull. You're making alien ones. What do you need? You can make deformed ones as well.
It's an almost skull.
Well, I recognised immediately that it was a skull. It's definitely a skull. Also make alien skulls. And I mean, if he's a little deformed, that's okay too. It'd be hard to do, but you could do a bullet hole in his head or something. Play with the skulls.
Hey, Silver Stray, how are you doing? Sorry, it took me a second to look up. How are you doing today? finished that thing I was working on last night, and it looked amazing. And I posted a photo on Instagram of it.
Oh, could you make like the skull of the silence?
Yeah, it would be pretty easy.
I love it. She says things like that, and I wouldn't know where to even start doing it. You know how many dog hairs I have on me. Cool.
Pretty decent skull.
I think it's cool.
What else?
Well, you can do semi three-dimensional in that you can make your flat petals and layer them up to make flowers and things like that. But usually for Christmas, it's Christmas stockings, wreaths, candy canes, Santas, snowmen. I tried a cactus there. You can see how pathetic it is. I mean, it's not the best sculpting medium, but it's a very cheap sculpting medium. You're making alien skulls. I can't quite see the silence.
Not quite.
I mean, you could make the ood. You could go completely. If Carlos isn't watching, you could make him a Christmas ornament that's. Oh!
It's Cthulhu.
Well, that's a good one. We really, before we bake them, need to find some wire or paper clips so that they can hang.
Hey there, dude, how are you? Isn't it everyone shows up right when I'm like, oh, cool, we should be winding down because it's the end of the stream time. How are you, dude? It's been a little while.
We started off making salt dough Christmas ornaments, but since it's a cheap, easy medium to sculpt into anything, Elizabeth has moved on to still Christmas, but from a different perspective, I guess. Science fiction. Or truth if you're a believer, I guess. In the old gods, old Greek gods.
Lucky, dude. It's the end of my weekend. I go back to work tomorrow. I don't like my Cthulhu. I think he looks stupid. There's an echo when I speak. Good. Well, to be honest, I'm signing out in 6 minutes, so I'm not going to take the time to figure out why it's echoing. Sorry. It's like there's a lot of cleaning that needs to be done. There is salt dough all over my chair, my desk, the floor, myself. Ugh, 50 hours.
Freaky.
I don't remember what Cthulhu looks like.
A lot of us have clean enough hands to be able to look it up.
Mm-mm.
You could just do freaky faces because they're freaky. Create your own freaky face thing. Because that is quite disturbing already.
He looks worried to me.
He does look worried, but, you know, is that worried because he doesn't know what's happening next? Oh, freaky, freaky, freaky. I like where you're going with these.
Just an ear.
I know, but now I don't know what it is, so it's more disturbing.
I was going for cute.
Well, it's sad. I guess it could be cute. But I don't know. What do they say about better the devil you know than the devil you don't? Oh, that, yeah. Kind of looks... And now it's starting to look like a worried cat with 2 legs sticking out of its mouth. Is it eating a toad or something?
I think it's cute.
It has a lot of character. Has a lot of character. Yep, there you go. I like that. Do another quick one. You've got the dough there. Of some other skull face thing. And then I'll put all this stuff away.
And you say that as though I intentionally made that creature.
Doesn't matter though, does it? It got made.
It's a nose.
You could make a line of Christmas ornaments that are a nose and an ear, or an eye, or a finger.
It's a nose.
Well, it is a nose. It's very decidedly a nose.
Want to have more character here.
We still have some salt dough left, so I'm just wrapping it in the cling film and putting it back in its tight container, and it should be still good to use for a few more days. Like I said, air is the enemy. So, although Elizabeth's winding down for today, there may be 1 or 2 things more made, I guess, at some point. Because I really like these. I think this should be a theme. I was kneading the dough for a lot of the time because I'd made it too sticky, so I was tightening the dough up. But I did make one Christmas thing. So I'm going to take your light for a second. I made a Christmas wreath. And a ladybug thing, but that was just a thing.
There.
Yeah, I think you should do a whole series of these another time.
Monsters.
But why not? We went put the
Monsters.
penguin there. So this is what a salt dough ornament can look like, or what we were going for. Basically, you just.
She made Christmas monsters.
I did. I was just. But if you make them out of the salt dough, you bake them. More of drying than really bake, so not too high a temperature. Make sure if it's a big ornament like Father Frost there, or even the skulls, because they've got some heft to them, it's more of a long bake on a low temperature to make sure they're dried out. Then paint them, seal them with Mod Podge or something, and they are semi-permanent in that we have had some last for over a decade.
Carlos, can you come turn the stream off because our hands are too dirty to touch my computer?
Yeah, would you? How bad are yours? Yeah, pretty much.
So I made some monsters. I'll paint my monsters later. But I like my monsters, even if everyone else.
I like I said, I think you should do a whole families, a whole theme, a whole thing on them.
Salt dough monsters.
Yes.
Can you go get Carlos to have him turn off the computer?
Yes, I think so.
No, you cannot eat these. These are way too salty.
Hi, bye.
Bye.